Welcome to Geology 147, the violent Earth. What a strange name for a geology class. And this is going to be a somewhat unusual geology class. It's a little different from most of the other geology classes we offer here at Central Oregon Community College. Usually we focus on the common events. What are the standard processes that we use to explain what happens in different geologic events? In this course, we're going to be taking a different approach. Instead of focusing on the common elements, we're going to focus on the most uncommon cases, the most extreme cases, the most dramatic examples. Yes, sometimes the most catastrophic events. So if you've taken another geology class here, be prepared for this one to be a little bit different. Instead of focusing on the general processes and the general rule, we're going to be focused on the exceptions. For example, we're going to talk about earthquakes. These are very violent events, but we're not going to talk about the usual magnitude 4, 5, or 6 earthquakes that happen daily somewhere on the planet. Instead, we're going to focus on the really rare magnitude 8, 9, or even larger events, trying to figure out where they occur, why they happen, how they happen, and examine the effects they have on the people and the planet. It's the same with lava flows. This isn't going to be about the common lava flows that are occurring almost daily in Hawaii, Iceland, and other places around the planet. In this course, we're going to focus on the flood basalts, these huge, massive floods of lava that covered almost all of the state of Washington and northern Oregon a few 100,000 years ago. We'll also look at the massive basalt lavas that covered a good chunk of the Indian subcontinent. The focus will be on these bigger, bolder examples. Volcanic eruptions. By their very nature, these are exciting and dramatic geologic events. But we're not going to focus on the ones that happen fairly regularly. We're not going to be spending a lot of time on the regular forms of these large explosions, the ones that happen regularly around the planet where the ash covers a few 100 miles. Instead, we're going to focus on the supervolcanoes, the ones where the ash covers entire continents. The same with glaciers. Instead of talking about the glaciers that you can hike up to today on Mount Hood or the Three Sisters, the small valley glaciers, we're going to be focusing on the ice ages, where the ice has covered a large part of the planet or the continent, and even one situation called the snowball Earth, where almost the entire planet was covered in ice. Floods. There've been a lot of talk about floods in the news lately. But again, these are not the types of floods we'll be focusing on in this class. In this class, we're going to be looking at mega floods, like the ones that happened during the ice ages, that happened in just a few days. A massive flood wiped out much of southern Washington and northern Oregon. In just a few days, the floodwaters covered this vast region, changing the landscape. Very dramatic and unusual event. There's no way to talk about dramatic and extreme events in a time like this without discussing climate. Our understanding of what's going on in the climate today is largely based on study of extreme climate events in the past. So we're going to look at these periods of the Earth's history that have been very cold or very hot, very wet or very dry. See, we're going to study why they happened, how they happened, and how they affected life on the planet and the planet itself. If we're going to be talking about how climate affects life, we must also talk about fossils and extinctions. Now, climate's not the only reason for extinctions. We're going to be discussing lots of different possibilities and variations on extreme events that can wipe out most of the species on the planet in a pretty short period of time. So buckle up. This is not going to be your usual geology class. This one is going to be focused more on those 1 in a million events. Or if a geologist could make a top 10 list of the top 10 biggest events in Earth's history, that's the kind of thing we're going to be having, going to be discussing in this class.